Okay, guys, we're back here. We are working on producers, consumers, and decomposers. We are once again in our North Carolina coach book. And so if you want to follow along, that's what you're going to be turning to. We're on page 111. And what you'll notice is I've had to write down in here when the study guide was made, apparently it was forgotten with the 1, 2, 3, 4 questions again. So if you'll take a moment, that's the first thing you'll do is write down 1, 2, 3, 4, just like we normally do. And if you wanted to pay attention and follow along, we are on page 111. Okay, in lesson 8, you learn that energy is the ability to make things move or change. Organisms need energy to live. They get that energy from the ecosystem. To get energy, some organisms make their own food. Others take in food or break down waste. All living organisms interact with their environment to get the energy they need. Producers. All of the living things in an ecosystem use energy. Plants use the energy in the sunlight to make or produce their own food. So plants are called producers. A producer is a living thing that makes its own food. Most producers are plants, such as grasses, shrubs, and trees. However, plants are not the only producers. Algae and some bacteria are producers too. They also make their own food. Producers give us oxygen to breathe. When producers use sunlight to make food, they give off oxygen. That puts the oxygen we need into the air. So, organisms get energy they need to live from their They get their energy from their ecosystem. Plants are called blank because they use the energy in blank to make. So plants are called producers because they use the energy in blank. Sunlight to make or produce their own food. Some unicellular organisms, such as algae and some blank, are producers too. What else? Algae and, look for the word algae right down here. Algae and what? Bacteria are producers too. During blank, plants take a carbon dioxide and water from the environment. We did not get to that part. We're going to go over here to page 112. The process in which plants, algae, and some bacteria use energy from sunlight to make their own food is called photosynthesis. In this process, plants take in the gas called carbon dioxide through their leaves. Carbon dioxide is a gas in the air. Plants also take in water from the soil through their roots. When the sunlight falls on their leaves, plants use the energy in the sunlight to change the carbon dioxide and water into oxygen, gas, and sugar. The sugar is stored energy or food. Plants give off the oxygen through their leaves and into the air as waste. So, during blank, plants take in carbon dioxide and water from the environment and use the energy in the sunlight to change them into blank and sugar. So, the process in which bacteria uses energy to make their own food is called photosynthesis. Plants take the carbon dioxide and water from the environment and use the energy in the sunlight to change them into blank and sugar. Gas. oxygen gas, and sugar. The sugar is stored energy or food, and oxygen is released through the leaves into the air as air waste, as waste. Okay, consumers. Animals, including people, cannot produce their own food. A consumer is a living thing that gets energy by eating other living things. All animals are consumers. There are three main types of consumers. We have herbivores, are consumers that eat mostly plants because plants, trees, and shrubs make their own food. Herbivores get energy from eating the producers. Mice, rabbit, deer, and many insects are herbivores. Cows, zebras, and elephants are also herbivores. So herbivores only eat, or mostly eat for the most part, plants. Carnivores, on the other hand, are consumers that eat only or mostly animals. In the ocean, sharks, walruses, seals, and octopus are common carnivores. On land, carnivores include cats, foxes, lions, wolves, hawks, and eagles. Omnivores are consumers that eat both plants and animals. Pigs, bears, raccoons, and humans are examples of omnivores. So looking over here, consumers are living things that blank produce their own food. Consumers cannot produce their own food. The three main types of blank are herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. So the three main types of what? Consumers. Consumers get their energy from eating only mostly plants are called, if they're only eating mostly plants, they are called herbivores. Consumers that get energy from eating only or mostly animals is called carnivores. Consumers that get their energy from both plants and animals is called omnivores. Okay. On page 113, decomposers. Living things give off waste materials, and sooner or later, all living things die and become waste material. Some living things cause dead plants and animals to decay or rot. A decomposer is a living thing that gets energy by breaking down waste and dead plants and animals. Decomposers break the material down into simpler waste, which become part of the soil. In this way, decomposers add nutrients to the soil that helps plants grow. Bacteria and fungi are decomposers. Fungi are a group of living things that include mushrooms. Some animals, such as earthworms and termites, can also act as decomposers. So, decomposers are living things that get their energy by breaking down waste materials and dead plants and animals into simple material that become part of the blank. They become part of the soil. Fungi, earthworms, and termites are examples of blank that help the nutrients in the soil, enabling plants to grow. They are examples of decomposers. And we are looking at our questions. Number 1, which statement is true about how living things get their food? A, producers eat consumers. B, producers eat other producers. C, consumers eat only other consumers. Or producers make their own food. Okay. Number 2, which type of organism eats mainly animals? An omnivore, a herbivore, a carnivore, or a producer? Okay, I got to turn the page for the next two questions. Question number 3. Which of the following is produced by photosynthesis? Water, sugar, sunlight, or carbon dioxide? Which of the following is produced by photosynthesis? Produced. Okay? Number 4. Which group of fungi, bacteria, and termites belong to? Decomposers, producers, herbivores, or omnivores?